Thank you, and thank you to the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference for putting on another great show. Tough to follow my friend Andrew. Just a quick story about him. I remember the day that he became the CEO of BlackRock. And he was like, I am buried in this 3-cent stock. I'm so pissed off at that management, I'm going to run the show. And man, did he ever turn something around. So good job, buddy. He was back when he was a recruiter doing some volunteer work for us. I'm Rob McLeod. I'm the CEO of Blackwolf Copper and Gold. The theme of my presentation today is, can Rob hold his shit together for 10 minutes? Because yesterday I said goodbye to my best friend who taught me a lesson: never stop exploring. So why should you look at Blackwolf? There's 5 takeaways I want you to have from my presentation today. The first is we are underpinned, and I know we're not supposed to be adding indicated and inferred together, but so don't tell anybody, but we have 5.6 million tons of indicated, 3.4 million tons of inferred, high-grade, potentially bulk mineable copper, gold, silver, and zinc resources. I'll get quickly through that. We have an excellent share structure with 31 million shares out, and one of the top lists of institutional and individual shareholders out there. I grew up, I'm a third-generation miner. I'm from Stewart, British Columbia, right on the border with Alaska. This is my turf. This is where I've spent the bulk of my career, and I have the experience and enthusiasm to make this company a success. We are going to have 2 really exciting drill programs this year on different properties, so pay attention to those. And our long-term vision is to have a future hub and spoke type mining operation that will be able to serve not just Nilac, but maybe other polymetallic deposits in the Northwest. That's where we'd like to be. So in terms of shareholders, our 2 biggest institutional shareholders are 2 of the best ones to have in the space. Delbrook Capital, which is by far the largest manager of resource money in Vancouver, own 9.9%, as well as Crescat Capital. We've just moved into Mr. Frank Gistra's office, who has provided great support, owns 4.7%, and I'm the largest individual shareholder. So where are the properties located? These both our hydro properties and Nilac are in southeast Alaska. A good location. I won't sugarcoat Alaska standards. Northwest BC are challenging areas to work. We have good locations for both projects, being on tidewater and close to road. So I mentioned our hub and spoke. This is something maybe in a year, 2 years we'll really be working on. But Nilac is a development project. Don't forget that. We need to find a place to process the ore. What we would love to do is look at other projects where we can combine together with economies of scale, lower impact on the environment. So that's our long-term vision. So Nilac, it's a fast-producing mine. It's had a lot of really excellent work done on it. Current resource that we're updating, a lot of drilling, a full production size underground decline, camps. We are well poised. We've invested a lot in this property over the past couple of years. We are really well poised for multiple years of success to move this project to a development stage. But the biggest contribution we've had by far, and it's been a while, admittedly, since we've had drill results, was where it's rare to have this type of geological breakthrough that we had. And it wasn't anything that was too big of a eureka moment. It was just finding out that this whole sequence that hosts the VMS mineralization was in fact upside down. It was overturned. And since it had been folded, it meant areas that were thought to be closed were wide open. So we confirmed this. Drilling in an area that was thought to be a naniform was in fact a synform, and we pulled off awesome drill results. So this is really, we see a path to 30 million tons at this project based on this new revelation. So we are currently in the process of updating our resource. As mentioned, it's 9 million tons combined. There's been multiple rounds of drilling, including by us, over the past couple of years. So expect within the next couple of months that we will be releasing, well, so, taking advantage of better metal prices since this was done in 2011. Most of you as retail investors, what are you looking for? Drill results, man. And here we've been delivering some good ones. A highlight from first round of drilling, 7.6 meters of almost 10% copper equivalent. Then that's from one zone, the old mine, so we'll have an initial resource there, and then big, wide, bulk mineable intercepts from underground at the Lookout Zone, one of the others. So, and tons of targets. Again, with this new geological interpretation, we've really opened up this deposit. The best analog, if many of you that have been in the space for a while, geologically, it's very similar to Nevson's Bisha deposit. Even though it's on the other side of the world, they're almost the same geological age, geochemistry, host rocks, all that sort of stuff. So different types of metals, different types of sulfides. So we just love the potential at this project. You can come by our booth to see some of these intercepts. This highlight one, it's also on our website, are all intercepts where the deposit is still wide open, that it hasn't been drilled along strike or up and down dip. 78-meter holes, 14 meters of 3 grams gold and 4% copper, that it has not been drilled around. This deposit really is wide open. It's just been limited by where you can drill. It's our intent and what we've been waiting on, and we should get any day, are surface drill permits to expand some of the areas where we have the lowest hanging fruit, where it's wide open, as well as to upgrade some resources as well too. So I'm going to quickly go to really where my heart is, which is in Stewart, British Columbia, in the Golden Triangle. And this is, the fortune of being from this area is access to individual knowledge, old reports and maps, such as from my dad who passed on, and some other old timers in the community. I know this area better than most, and I had no idea that some of these prospects on the Alaska side of the border were even there and had such great prospects. So over the past, basically since the 1920s and 30s, despite dozens of companies operating in the Golden Triangle, nobody's on the Alaska side of the border. Geology doesn't care about borders. It's just been a factor of people not knowing how to stake claims in the United States, and also not having some of these old maps. The first area, and go to our website and read the remarkable story about these crazy old-timers who they found these massive veins of electrum in geological flow right next to a glacier. These crazy buggers tunneled through the ice for years and years and years until they found one of these veins. They pulled like about 300 ounces of gold out of like 400 pounds of rock. And then actually the miner who had operated, he ended up dying with my uncle, underground out at by Grand Duke at East Gold there. And so I had no idea this property even existed. The ice is long gone, and we will be out there this year to try and find where these very, very, very high-grade veins are. These are the type of veins that they mine at Bruce Jack, and in the early years at Ascot's Premier Development Project, which is currently being built, that had the bulk of the really, really high grade. The other thing, this Jack Fillion gave me that map. An old-time Hyderite guy that grew up there gave me this map for a property called Cantu, and I must have driven past this project 300 times. And I had no idea these veins were there. That old map showed that there's 2 aerial tram lines, and I had no idea. Jack said, fly up there, see it for yourself. There's a 100-foot wide vein, and sure enough, there it is. We grabbed a bunch of samples, really high-grade gold and silver, and it is 100 feet wide. So we are going to drill that, just sit on top of the cliffs and drill it. And you can hear Ascot developing their Premier Gold project right literally across the border. This is the best undrilled project I've ever seen in my career in this part of the world. So 5 things: great structure, reasonably competent dog-loving management, and excellent properties, and underpinned by a great resource base. So thank you for your attention. I am at booth 1009 all day.